Hello, everyone. We're back today with Michael, and we have a new session in the JFK conspiracy session behind the curtain. Michael, thank you for joining me today. Welcome.
Welcome, Brett. Welcome, dear listeners. The president has been killed at 12:30 p.m. Yeah, 12 and 30 means together 42, which is the number of the 3 generations of 14 that been described in the book of Matthew of the generations of Jesus. Also, 42 is the number of the Freemason, of the Egyptian judges when it's after death. Yeah, so that is very a strange time. 1230, 12 plus 30 can mean 42, and that would be the number of Egyptian judges after death. So it has something to do with death, Brett. And at 1230, your president had been most likely been killed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can also exaggerate that if you then really count it a bit different, and you got 1 plus 2 plus 30, that also is 33. But I would stay closer to the 42 total number because of the Egyptian judges of the underworld, and 42 being the number that is also be the by what's the name of that novel now? Anhalter durch die Galaxie. From Douglas Adams. What's the novel of Douglas Adams? Help me out.
Don't know.
The Hitchhiker's Guide to Galaxy. Yeah, so that's also the number of all the questions which have never been asked. So the number 1 question of the computer, the answer was 42, but nobody could remember the question. Yeah, so that was 42. So level 42, they say that it has something to do with the book of the Hitchhiker's Guide to Galaxy. Yeah, but 1230 is a very strange time because 12:30 is 12:30, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, and 12:30, I've forgotten to look it up in the German script here. There is an interesting page. Wow, we have to take a break of 10 seconds. Wow, I have to drink something. Oh my, what's the name of that page? What's the name of that page for that special phrases where you can look up special phrases?
Oh, yeah.
Urban Dictionary, yeah. Urban Dictionary. I think that it was. Yeah, that's it. So 12:30. Yeah, you see that it's late here. It's really late. Huh? Oh, 12:30. Come on. You could not find it. You could find it 2 years ago when I was doing the ABBA sessions. Yeah, 12:30 is a phrase of somebody who's drunk.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So watching the Late Show, I don't know if you know that song of Gimme 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 of ABBA. That was not a big hit in the United States. The only number 1 that ABBA had was Dancing Queen in 1976. And that's a part, an excerpt here from my ABBA lectures in German. So 12:30, that's 12:30. Yeah, so that goes down to the number 42. And that ABBA song has been sampled then by Madonna with Hung Up. Yeah, that's Gimme 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 in the original. Been played on an ARP Odyssey. Yeah, so when you're playing that, you're on Odyssey. Yeah, because you see that Odyssey has something to do with Odysseus, with the Greek hero, who then was being threatened by the sirens with their singing. Yeah, can capture you for hours, that thing, huh? Yeah. Yeah, it's very interesting, but yeah, this goes from bottom to top and top to bottom. Yeah, that is also the panic sound. Yeah, and that is the same start from a sound from a track like Peter Gabriel with the sledgehammer. Yeah, yeah, that is the same, absolutely the same. I did a video mix of that. Yeah, so that is actually absolutely the same. Yeah, that indicates panic, and panic comes from Pan, from the Greek god or false god Pan, which is nothing else than Satan. Yeah, so it's going to get you. So that's alarm, alarm, alarm.
Alarm bell, yeah.
Alarm bell, yeah. Yeah, so that is the singer. It is very strange. I did 32 sessions in German about the members of ABBA, and when you got to the blonde here, Agneta Felskog, she was having the lead on that song, Gimme, 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 A Man After Midnight. Won't somebody help me chasing shadows away? Shadows, of course, is the absence of light and can also mean demons. And it's very interesting when she then had a very terrible relationships after the split of ABBA and the split with the former band colleague, which was and is a Freemason, this Björn Ulvaeus here, who has also been in charge with having the first company, if I remember correctly, in Sweden, where they have gotten rid of cash. Yeah, so in that ABBA museum, you could only pay by card. And his official explanation was, yes, my son has been robbed at one time and it's better to get rid of cash. Yeah, you have to believe him. Yeah, he's a Freemason. Okay, so that blonde girl, she had bad luck with her relationships because out of a sudden, it seems, a Dutch fan, which was a forklifter or fork driver, he pursued her. He was a stalker, and she got in a relationship with him even with 2 years. And then he was threatening her, and it's such a strange story. I cannot tell here right in the open because that needs much of a translation. You won't believe these coincidences. What happened there? Yeah, it's almost unbelievable. And then you that combined with symbolism, you will really fall flat on your face, I think. But of course, if you are somebody in a Freemason band wishing and singing, yeah, gimme, 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 a man after midnight, yeah, you see, she received the same thing that she wished for. And if you think that is a coincidence, I can tell you another example. The darker hair-toned girl here, Anna-Fried, she sang the lead song on Money, Money, Money Isn't Funny in a Rich Man's World. Yeah, and she married a real prince. And she now got about, I think it was 200 million euros on her bank account. Yeah, so much for coincidences. But you see, that's another subject here. Yeah, so that is sledgehammer. And that's the same with ABBA. Yeah. And even here with the sledgehammer Peter Gabriel, it is a pan flute at the beginning. So that is, yeah, Peter Gabriel at the end being enlightened, the light bearer here going through the door to another dimension. Yeah. Yeah, so that all comes from panic. So we are close to 12:30. Yeah, the time that your American president has been killed. Yeah, comes from panic. Yeah, and you can also have it this way. Okay.
Right.
So that is pan. Yeah, it's no explanation needed. Yeah, and that's the same like this curve. Yeah. Yeah, that's an alarm. That's a siren. Yeah, like siren from Odysseus. Yeah, that's a warning. Okay. Yeah. So the clock shows 12:30. Yeah, that means 42. In Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the answer to life, the universe, and everything is 42, like level 42. From a Kabbalistic standpoint, 42 is the number in which the Tetragrammaton, four-letter word of God, creates the universe. This is based upon a similar 42-letter name of God from the Torah. In the series Don't Panic is a phrase on the cover of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. The novel explains that it was partly because the device looks insanely complicated to operate and partly to keep intergalactic travelers from panicking. Yeah. On the 6th, Arthur C. Clarke said that Douglas Adams, in his novel, use of don't panic was perhaps the best advice that could be given to humanity. Yeah, well, don't panic, yeah, don't pandemic. Yeah, was perhaps the best advice, yeah, but that was yeah, not being listened by the majority. On February 2018, SpaceX launched the Falcon Heavy rocket carrying Elon Musk's Tesla Roadster, which had "Don't Panic" written on the screen on the dashboard as a reference to the series. The number 42. Life, the universe, and everything. Huh? Or 1230. The number 42. Associated with suffering, and yet thousands of interpretations. Yeah? In the Bible, it's just the number of generations. Yeah? Don't let them get you here with all their explanations. 42 generations of Abraham to Christ in the Gospel according to Matthew, and the 42 generations of David to the Christ, according to Luke. Yeah. Yeah. But it's also the number of Egyptian judges. I don't know why it has not been mentioned here, but I'm 100% sure. Maybe it will also appear other religion. Oh yeah, according to the Book of the Dead Egyptians, the defunct as a death passes ahead of 42 judges. Yeah, dead Egyptians. So death in Egyptian circles. And you see that Osiris is a god, so to speak, in Egypt, or of the Egypt belief, Egypt, occult pagan religion. Yeah, okay, so it has something to do with dead and Egyptians. Yeah, walk like an Egyptian. Oh, it's all a big coincidence. It's all a big coincidence. Yeah, it's just type in 42 in Wikipedia, and you got a weekend to spend on that. You really got a weekend to spend on that. So 12:30. What else does it tell you? 12:30 is almost creating an I or one on the clock. Yeah, of course. The indicator for the hours would be here then, yeah, but it creates a little bit of I, would be a synonym for egoism, yeah, like egoism in Isaiah 12 when it's about Lucifer, I will ascend, I will, and so that is an I. This is just another remark which I found on my own, but that's not all. Because we have to bear with the fact that the Jesuitical controlled Anton Saint Lavey, which officially has been erased, that Church of Satan as a, disinformation church about the real Church of Satan from Rome. He's saying that the television set is the satanic family altar. So everybody saw the killing of the American president, at least from 1975 or so, with the Zapruder movie, okay? So that the purpose was to show the entire world how capable they are and what the real power behind the world is. And it's coming from Rome, the so-called eternal city, not eternal flame, eternal city. Yeah, and so they were very successful in creating their television and cinema approach, newspapers and media and smartphones and internet and yeah, all the satanic stuff being presented to the youth. Yeah, so that they say that, oh yeah, it is quite usual. Yeah, that's nothing to it. Yeah, it's nothing special. Yeah, that is Madonna hung up. She uses the same sound from ABBA with permission. Hung up means to be possessed by somebody. to be hung up on somebody. Hung up on you. Yeah, so that means it has also something to do with demonic possession here. Madonna hung up. Yeah, she has much to do with Scarlet Colors. Has much to do with demons things here. Look at the video of Frozen, where she plays Hecate, goddess known for magic. Oh yeah. Two Babylons. Yeah, you see here the blood stains most likely on the shirt of Mrs. Kennedy after the attack on her husband, and yeah, and we are to believe that she did not change her clothes. Huh? Yeah, the problem is that this is almost a square here, this picture, and I think that maybe they have gotten rid of that lower part here, Brett, because it would have shown that there are no blood marks on her dress, and maybe she did change her suit. Huh?
Right.
But I can't prove it, of course. Yeah. It's interesting. Chief Jesse Curry from the Dallas Chief is also been present here, number 6. He's standing here. And on that day in broad sunlight, it happened when John F. Kennedy was being hit by a bullet. And the radio reporter said on the morning in Dallas, he said that at about 9:30 we started to notice some patches of blue in the sky because it had rained there. A lot of blue sky showing and the bright sunshine, and that sunshine feels mighty cool out here, and it's still like nippy when the breeze is coming, etc. Yeah, you see that I have implemented it here, and then you compare that, please, with the witness of testimony of Jacqueline Kennedy when she said that it was terribly hot. Sure, if I wear that strange costume and the limousine is almost not moving.
Yeah.
And so this is all distraction, Brett, yeah, as the world turns. That is the broadcast which had been interrupted for the of the breaking news of the death of the American president, yeah. So this is disinformation, Brett. As the world turns.
Oh, I always say as the stomach turns, Michael.
Yeah, but the world does not turn. And this is, it almost looks not like a globe, but like a lemon or so. I don't know. It looks very strange.
Right.
Yeah. Did you know where the globe is coming from? Yeah. When first the globe was being introduced in the media. I learned that this week. It was in the Jesuitical Douay-Rheims Bible.
Oh.
Yeah. Very interesting. So this is disinformation here, as the world turns. It's like that movie, Brad, The Day the Earth Stood Still. Yeah. It's all pure indoctrination. On the Mason page, I found that Walter Cronkite was my brother. So also the radio broadcaster, he is not so that innocent. He's also a Freemason. Yeah, he was not a Freemason, but a Demolay. Demolay, you know, huh? The chief of the then forbidden on the 22nd of November 1307 by the Pope and the French King Philip IV by the Knights Templars, huh? Demolay. So he was in an order too, and Demolay is like a junior Masonic order. Yeah. So. Yeah, he was in the plot, yeah. Masonic Lodge. Yeah. The Order of Demolay started 80 years ago in Kansas City and resembles also John Wayne, Pete Rose, Walt Disney, and Walter Cronkite. Yeah, so when he's looking into the camera, he absolutely knows what he has to say because it is all scripted. Yeah, that you have to really believe and guess that it is scripted. Yeah, so when Walter Leland Cronkite Jr., an American broadcast journalist, he's been often cited as the most trusted man in America. Sorry, this is comedy. It's comedy. They're all in it when they are big in the media business. Yeah, he also had coverage of the space program Project Mercury. Once again, the 5th time today on Mercury. Yeah. My. He became a member of new chapter of the GP fraternity. He was also a member of the Houston chapter of Demolay Masonic Fraternal Organization for Boys. Yeah, Demolay, huh? The Knights Templars, and yeah, most trusted man in American history, most trusted man in the United States broadcaster. Oh, I feel sorry for the American audience, Brett.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you see, the Jesuits, they have it all. Yeah, they are leading the science, the media, the cinema, and all the stuff, politics. Yeah, it's a mess. Yeah, it's more lie than ever. Yeah, you see that it's just the car of Kennedy becomes a floating boat. It's a total mess.
With grass on all sides, Michael.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, what do we expect? You see, that is for the masses of sheeple out there, it's quite sufficient. Yeah, because they're only focused on JFK or the color of the head of Mrs. Kennedy. Yeah. Yeah. So what about all to understand their language? Sorry, I don't want to prolong the session, but maybe now we're coming to the real interesting things. When we know that the DD Plaza has been designed according to the Kabbalah, we know that the Kabbalah also is a symbolism of the original creation in their belief, and also been equipped with planets. Yeah, there are certain models, and one model that I have shown some time ago was not a quite correct model, because it depicted Pluto at that position. The problem is that Pluto has gotten rid of his status as a planet, and that Pluto only had been discovered, so to speak, in 1930 it was. So that was not the ancient type of symbolism and of planetarian order here, because that was and is still the moon. Yeah. So that means when Kennedy is driving down the Elm Street here, in the lower parts of the Kabbalistic tree of life, which is of course mysticism, has nothing to do with truth. It is not that I cannot talk the absolute truth at the moment, because I have to explain their language. Yeah. So in their language, this is the Kabbalistic tree of life, which means, yeah, that the sun here is the center, and which means that here the sun is the Osiris is depicted here on the Houston Street. This is the main street, this is the Elm Street, and this is the Commerce Street. I think so far we are in accordance. Now, as we know that Mercury stands for the Texas Schoolbook Depository, because Mercury is the messenger of the gods. There's someone who is, in their pagan belief, responsible for education and learning, and that is a Texas Schoolbook Depository. So they taught Mr. Kennedy a lesson, Brett. Mm-hmm. And then Kennedy was going down to Earth, or in the Earth actually, because here at that station, Earth, Malkut, actually is a triple underpass. So the killing of Kennedy happened about in the middle of the Elm Street here, a little bit before the middle, but here. And the closest planet to that location is not only Mercury, but the moon. And as in the beginning of the session, when I said that the sun is being seen as the creator of life in the pagan belief system, and as a male object with a circle the point in the circle, yeah, what is the moon? What does this moon stand for when the sun is male, Brett?
Female?
Yeah, female, of course. So if there is some action going on onto the Elm Street here, it would be far more easier if it would taking place on the main street. But if it takes place somewhere around here, then you got two planets or two stations, so to speak, yeah. And these stations is Mercury combined with the moon, yeah, and the moon is female. So the action which is taking place, the further you go down the road, has been influenced by a female. And that was my intention from the beginning when I said, okay, if I look to the Kabbalah and I see that it's been erected and designed for the Kabbalah here, you see that also here in the Neptune fork, in the foundation of the World Trade Center then you see here is the moon, and he's driving away from Mercury, Texas Cubic Depository, and he's going down to the Earth, so to the Triple Underpass or to his grave. Yeah, because here is the Martyros Park also. Yeah, then he's coming to the influence of the moon, and therefore, once again, it's a female scene, not a planet. He's not a planet. The moon is not a planet, but it has been seen as a depiction of female. Yeah, and so Jacqueline Kennedy, once again, it's the only choice. Of course, Lady Bird Johnson, yeah, but it's the only reasonable thing according to the Kabbalah that it has a female influence. Then it is just happens here when he's dying, yeah. So a female influence. So you can guess if it is Lady Bird Johnson or if it is Jacqueline Kennedy. Then, yeah, I would know what guess I would prefer. Yeah. Once again, you see here the moon, yeah, and I know you got you got no articles in the English language. In German, we have male articles and female articles, yeah. So in French, for example, the moon means luna or la luna, yeah. So the moon or she moon, yeah. The moon is a she, and the sun is a he. In German, it's much more complicated because in German, I don't know why. It's the other way around. They see the sun as a female object. Yeah, we are saying here die Sonne, which means the sun with a female article, and we are saying der Mond, which is a male article. Yeah, which is totally incorrect. But it is la luna. Yeah, so the moon is female and the sun is male. So, and when it goes down to Malkut, yeah, he's going to his death or to his burial, yeah, to his funeral or what else. Yeah, and Shin is the road of judgment, yeah. You know, 1230, you know, 42 judges. So that is my explanation why it is more likely that it was Jacqueline Kennedy than William Greer. And that is pure, simple symbolism. But that's not the end of the session. Because some say that Mrs. Kennedy was having a Freudian slip here with her pocket, and he says, "Oh, look here, that's how I did it," together with Edward Kennedy. Yeah, yeah. You see, women they have their little equipment. But if you go into astrology, then it gets really weird for the people who are not familiar with it, and I don't want to educate you on that only as far as it is needed for that session here. Yeah, the moon, the ruler of Cancer, etc., etc., etc. It causes a flood in the so-called earthly signs, influences the rhythmic ebb and flow of the seas in the worldly signs, you have to believe it, and the earth as the human body is consisting in the majority of it with water. It represents the anima, the feminine counterpart. Yeah, that's the real thing, the dark anima, dark night of the soul, the dark side of the moon. It has a cycle of 29 days, synchronous with the female egg cycle. Yeah, so female, the moon is female. Okay, so we are going further down the road. Yeah, Neptune is the Roman version. That's, I don't know, I don't need that. Yeah, you see, Brett, all our children, and including us, we have been indoctrinated with the Roman system of pagan gods. Yeah, the sun god was being Sol or Apollo. Mercury is the trickster god, or then Hermes in Greek. Venus, Aphrodite. Then the Earth, of course, is the Earth. Then Mars or Aries, Jupiter or Zeus in Greek, and Saturn or Kronos, etc. You see, these are all Roman gods, planets their own orbit. That's the definition of a planet, at least one of them. That means that we are just having to know all these Roman gods, except of Uranus, because Uranus seems to be a Greek god. Yeah, but Neptune, Pluto, yeah, you see, this is all Roman. Roman! You're living in a Roman system. You're worshipping Sunday. And you're living, supposedly, and that is incorrect, in a doctrine sun-helio system. You're all indoctrinated. We are all indoctrinated. We have to get rid of all this pagan bullshit. Sorry.
It's just saying it like it is, Michael.
Yeah, it's like it is. The Roman gods are obviously stolen, but Roman gods, you see that people, they don't get it. They don't get it. They're celebrating Christmas, which has nothing to do with Christ.
Maybe they do get it. They just don't want to.
Ignorant.
Yeah, they don't want to go there because then they would have to be, what would you say? They'd have to acknowledge all of the real problems too, Michael.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which, yeah, ignorance is bliss. Mm-hmm. Not really.
Yeah, you see that is. You see, if I name them in Roman with Roman names, or if I name them in Egyptian names, you see that what is the difference? It is a violation of the first commandment of God: "Ye shall have no other gods before me."
Mm-hmm.
So Freemasons are Satanists, Antichrist, opposition. So I said, and okay, I will try to go into this. If you really want to know what is going on there, and you really want to know what their language is, you have to dig deep. And some of you know that I did astrology for more than 20 years. On a semi-pro level, that means I made money with that also. I had official title and I made money with it. So I made it professional, semi-pro, because it was not my only profession at that time, but I did it for more than 20 years. More than 20 years. So this is all deception. Yeah. The world is not turning, you're not living in a solar system, the sun is not the center, and all the stuff. Yeah, it's all disinformation. Yeah, the day the earth stood still is every day. Yeah, it's all to give you the deception of the Jesuitical science. Yeah, science so-called, but not the real truth, and nothing to do with truth. It's all deception, because once and for all, the earth stands fast. Yeah. So these are all tricksters here. Yeah, this is Albert Einstein. These are just tricksters. It's all tricking. Yeah, tricking the people. And even that the so-called information sites or truth sites or so, they made much mistakes. Yeah, so JFK has not been born on a solar eclipse. Yeah, JFK had been born on the 29th of May, and according to my knowledge, the solar eclipse was 3 weeks after, yeah, so 19th of June. But what do I know? If there is an eclipse, because that eclipse only is when you really believe into the sun system, huh? It's really hard to uncover all the lies, yeah. Sweet Little Masonic Lies. It's an interesting video from Shaking My Head Productions. I can recommend that video. No, I can't recommend any video because I cannot recall all the content of the video. Maybe there is also some distraction in it. I don't know, because you see that I have to look at it in real time. But there are so many Masonic lies out there. Yeah. So what I'm trying to show you is now a conclusion that I think only came up with. Maybe many people have seen their horoscope. So what about astrology? Well, astrology means the constellation of points in the sky, or planets in the sky, stars and planets in the sky, and with their viewed from the Earth. So that means the Earth is in the center. So actually, astrology depicts a geocentric Earth, so that all the planets are surrounding the Earth. Yeah. So the Earth is fixed in astrology. Yeah. And you got 12 houses. They are for certain talents or certain areas. First house is ego, 7 house is partnership and your thinking. 10 house would be your official position in a society. 4th house in my system, what I've learned, is the mother. The 5th house is the father, etc., etc. You can do many things with it. There's much more to it than to the naked eye, that people have thought about that by using their horoscope, because their horoscopes have nothing to do with the professional level of astrology. But there's not so much to it that the astrologers really want to have, because yeah, you see, you can't, you got too much possibilities. Yeah, but I'm just only showing that to really explain what could be behind that. But these are the positions of the planets at the time of the alleged birth of JFK. I wasn't present at the time because I haven't been born on the 29th of May 1970, so I have to believe it. That is the correct time, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, which is a little bit dull, because I doubted that it's absolutely even 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but so be it. So if I would go into the thinking that we are dealing with a sun religion, and we know that they are using Kabbalah and all the occult stuff in numerology and planets and so numbers. And I thought maybe I should take a closer look. And I looked upon that incident of the killing of John F. Kennedy. These are the Swiss ephemeris for the year 1963. This means that at midnight, these are the exact locations of the objects of the Sun, the Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, etc., etc. So from Friday the 1st to Saturday, or Sabbath actually, the 13th of November 1963. So if I look up then the 22nd Friday of November, then I see that the Sun is on the position of 28 degrees, 57 minutes and 17 seconds of Scorpio. Yeah, because interestingly enough, the switch from Scorpio to Sagittarius is on the next day, on the 23rd of November, because here it is absolutely close to 0. So that means at midnight, at the next time, next day, it is a few minutes after midnight when the change is between Scorpio and Sagittarius. And I learned astrology by a German teacher who has written more than 40 books of it, who has ran his own school, etc., etc. And he had a special method for that every degree on the zodiac. So that means we have 12 signs with 30 degrees each, means 360 degrees, which is then of course a complete circle, and every degree on that has a special meaning. I can show you that. So you got 30 degrees in each field here, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, etc. 30 degrees, yeah, or 3 deacons, yeah, every 10 degrees, 3 deacons. You see there is also the resemblance to the deacon. DEACON.
36 deacons, yeah.
36 deacons in it, yes.
Yep. And if you add 36 and then subtract 1, keep adding them all up till you get to 1, you get 666.
Yeah, if you add up all the numbers of 1 to 36 all together, you receive 666, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so what I did is I thought about, well, why don't we do it in general? Because we know that the Sun is here touching the 0 degree, or the border between Scorpio and Sagittarius. Is it Sagittarius? Please help me out in English.
Yeah, Sagittarius, sure.
Sagittarius, okay. Interesting enough that Sagittarius, yeah, is also depicted with half man, half horse, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So that is the book that he wrote. The name is Michael Roscher, and that means Critical Degrees in Prognosis. And that book has been displayed on a very small market in 1994, and of course it's in my possession. And it's very interesting because I just looked it up a year ago or so. This is the horoscope of the day on the assassination of your president with the official time 12:30. Okay? What is here on that axis? That's the ascent and that's the descent. So that means that is here when the sun is going up, and this is when the sun is going down. So this is the horizon here. Yeah, and you see that the sun is close to the MC. MC means medium Curie, or that's the middle of the heavens, so to speak. Yeah. So the sun is very close to the middle of the heavens. So if you would like to sacrifice something to the sun god, yeah, you would of course chose a time when the sun has the full power. Yeah. Remember what Jacqueline Kennedy said? Oh, it was so awfully hot. Yeah, so that means also you see that at the time, not that ephemeris here for midnight on the 22nd, that the sun on 28 degrees 57 minutes, but at the time on the assassination, the sun is already on 29 degrees 44 minutes, 44 minutes out of 60 minutes until the next degree, which is then 30 degree or 0 Sagittarius. So the sun is here between Scorpio and Sagittarius. I think it is clearly depicted here.
Right.
That means that within a quarter of a day, because the sun almost needs 1 day for a degree, within a quarter of a day, 6 hours later, it's already in Sagittarius. So that is exact, yeah, really exact enough, yeah, close enough, yeah, to say that the sun is between these two signs, which are not star signs, which is zodiac signs. Yeah, so these are Scorpio with the tail, and this is Sagittarius with the arrow. Okay, and now maybe you would like to know what Michael Roscher had to say about that degree without knowing ever that, because he is deceased in 2005 or so. I can't. It's so long ago. Yeah, so he's long gone, and as far as I know. He's also not a Bible-believing Christian, or he was raised in a Catholic school, which he hated, and therefore he was much more into Asian belief systems. But as apart from that, what he found out with evidence, so that he had many clients, and he was just pinning down what events took place on a certain degree. Yeah. Once again, I'm not educating you into that system. I just explain what is necessary for an understanding on that subject. And so that there are some degrees where people often are marrying, for example. There are some degrees when accidents are happening. There are some degrees when good things are happening, when bad things are happening. And there are some degrees which have a special meaning. For example, if you take here the end of Sagittarius and the beginning of Capricorn, yeah, it's the 22nd of December. That is the day when it's shortest and the night which is longest. This is the killing of the sun here on that perspective here. Yeah, the 22nd, that is the longest night. Yeah, so there the sun has the lowest power, and therefore the Romans, they had their Saturnalia. Saturn, yeah, is also depicted here with the ruler of Capricorn. And yeah, therefore you see that it all has a special meaning with it. So what is the meaning of that? So that Scorpio here, the ruler, so the lord or the king of that zodiac, so to speak, in that pagan belief system, because it's all coming from the Sumerians, actually from Babylonian Mesopotamia, and so that means here the ruler is Pluto, or more recent now Mars, yeah, so war. And Scorpio has been seen, the month of November, for example, has been seen as death of nature, yeah. And then you got Sagittarius. So what does it mean when the planet, the sun, or the quality of the day, when the sun is between these two signs of the zodiac, Scorpio and Sagittarius? So this is the book, Critical Degrees in Prognosis, from Michael Roscher, 1994. This is the German explanation of it. And of course, I was so kind to translate it today into English, and that is the meaning of that day. Wanting to proselytize, sorry, please help me out. What is that?
Yeah, that's correct. Proselytize, yeah.
Wanting to proselytize, being convinced of the absolute truth of one's own ideas, mixing spirituality and one's own lust for power, cannot endure any contradiction, inflation of spiritual values. The fisherman and his wife, that's a fairy tale of somebody who has never been satisfied, lost through insatiable greed, becoming corruptible and thereby endangering one's own existence.
Strange.
Yeah. Oh, I don't find it strange. You see that Pluto means death, or Scorpio means death, and Sagittarius is one of the meanings of Sagittarius is the priest. Because when you think about, we are coming down now to the so-called Christmas days, and this is a day of hope. These are the days of hope in November. Yeah, you got Santa Claus and all this BS stuff. Yeah, and in German it means to proselytize means to be a missionary. Yeah, you see, mission.
Yeah, to be a Jesuit.
Yeah. Yeah. Being convinced of the absolute truth. I ask you, Brad, who is the man who claims to have the absolute truth in this world?
The man of sin.
The man of sin. If you want to slay somebody right in the open, which day would you choose? When you are in that kind of a belief system that you have a sun worship, a sun religion, then you would choose.
Isn't that interesting, Michael? Being convinced of the absolute truth of one's own ideas. One's own ideas. Coming from within, eh? What does the Bible tell us about what comes from within? Oh, it's not good. Very bad, Michael. Yeah, deny yourself. What did it say in Isaiah 14? I forget.
Yeah, but you see that
yeah, go ahead.
See, this is a general thing and a general task. But when I went across that book, you can imagine that out of a sudden, you see, I thought I was seeing the Pope in it. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah? I agree.
Convinced of the absolute truth. Yeah. So he is without. You see that what's the official connotation? What's the official phrase on it? He's infallible, huh? The Pope is infallible.
What he claims. That's what he claims. That's his claim.
That's what he claims, yeah. Of his own ideas, mixing spirituality and one's own lust for power. Cannot endure any contradiction. So that is the Inquisition.
Yeah, inflation of spiritual values. I'd say they're inflated. Yeah, they're inflated so high that, yeah, the world's drunk along with him, you know. That's the point.
Yeah, so that was my point. That was my system that I was educated with 25 years ago or so. Yeah, about it. Yeah, 95, 6, 96, 97, 98, 99. Yeah, 2000. Yeah. Yeah. So you see, this is just from a German book for people who wanted to know that system. Yeah. So for pupils and all the stuff. Yeah. And you have to be very careful with that because you have to choose what is now what when it comes down to a client, But I'm not saying that this is, of course, not the absolute truth. But I'm just pointing out that if you really want to know what is going on behind the scenes, you have to encode their language. And people just generally say that, oh yeah, of course, it just happened on the 22nd of November because that was the thing with the Knights Templars. And it's just 22 and 11 is getting a total of 33. Yeah, you see, you can achieve the 33 also by other means, yeah? You can, of course, choose the 21st of December. Yeah, you can choose the let me say the 26th of July. No, but they chose the 22nd of November because you see that is Jupiter and Pluto, and Jupiter being the ruler of Sagittarius, Jupiter being the head god. What was it where John F. Kennedy's coffin had been buried? In the Capitol, in the temple of Jupiter Maximus Optimus, and Scorpio has been depicted with death. So the sting, huh? The tail of the Scorpio, the sting. Yeah, like Gordon Sumner, police. Yeah, but it's depicted with death. Yeah, so it's a religious death. Yeah, also possible here. Yeah, this is religion here and hope and priest, and this is death. Yeah, so religious death. 22nd of November. You think that is far-fetched? Oh, you wait. If I would really go into the details of all the stuff here, we could have several sessions about it, but I don't want to do that because this is not the truth. This is just to educate people into seeing what nobody dares to tell you, or almost nobody dares to tell you. I don't think that that German small book here is known somewhere in the United States. But if you are really into that system and you really can decode some things, then you see what they want to express and whom they glorify. It happened in the Temple of the Sun with Osiris in the Didi Plaza, and he was buried with sun rays in the Capitol in the Temple of Jupiter Optimus Maximus. And now the death occurred, or the killing occurred, between the two zodiac signs, Scorpio and Sagittarius, with a religious death. Death, religion, death, religion. My, it can't be so hard. And there's much more to it. Yeah, if we would go into the details here, oh my. But the problem is this is not the truth. These are pagan gods which you are worshipping then, if you are really following that system. I'm only educating people on behalf to explain that system to you, that you really see that these are no coincidences. There is no low nut Lee Harvey Oswald.
Yeah, Michael, you know, it's very interesting you point this out because a lot of world leaders and very, very successful people use astrology on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, most likely was very famous the Nancy Reagan, huh? From
yeah, right,
Ronald
exactly,
Reagan, yeah,
exactly. That
we
speaks
once stumbled
volumes
into
about,
that. Yeah, mm-hmm.
Yeah, it speaks volumes about how these things are actually kind of planned out this way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they chose this particular time because it was very advantageous. It was the right time.
Mm-hmm.
Through their means of dealing with it, which is through astrologers and stargazers, whatever you want to call them. You know, what they say in the Bible, it still holds true today, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. So you're only proving that this system, although it is far from the truth, is just another way that this world, the power of this world works. You know, it runs. This world is running on conspiracy, and it's running on Kabbalah. So no surprise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and the way I understand it, Michael, from my research, from the books that I've read, is that in ancient times in Babylon, they had something called the star charts. And what the zodiac represents is a adaptation of those star charts. So we're not getting the truth. We're just getting a it's like a spell. It's like what do you call it? What's the word now?
Don't ask me, I'm German.
No, sure, but it's a form of witchcraft in a way, isn't it? I don't know what to say.
Yeah, because these planets, they have no power. You see that you are putting away the glory of God to any material thing that you can see in the sky. Yeah, so that's
right.
That's
you're trying to pull your wisdom out of the sky, which is not the truth. The wisdom comes from God. So
it only seems to work because they are playing with it. Yeah,
right. But it was the Babylonian priesthood that did it too. That's my point. Is the golden
it's a
head.
Sunday worship. You see, it's a Sunday, so they are worshiping the sun. So I look at the sun and I see, okay, they are at close transition between two zodiac.
It's a sun system, Michael. It's a whole system based on the sun.
Yeah, it's a whole system. Yes.
Yeah, so that's heliocentric, isn't it?
Yeah, although astrology depicts it as geocentrism, but you see, the sun is here on that system.
That's the power. Yeah, that's where the power lies.
It's valid. It's valid, of course, for the entire world on that day.
It's a pagan system.
There's happening much more than a religious killing, but it is very, very, very suitable for that day. Huh? Also another thing, if you're really familiar with these degrees, you could tell this is Uranus, Neptune on 19-degree Aquarius. Sorry, it's hard for me to do that in English because I'm used to that system in German only. Aquarius. So therefore, that is a sign which says, oh yeah, there are miracles happening. And what miracle did happen? A magic bullet.
Right.
We will go to that miracle quite soon and very elaborate. I can promise you that. I'm really looking forward to the very last session of Kennedy, not only for that long-running series, but only to have a finish, which then really would open the eyes of people that will see that, oh, my. We have looked at Kennedy for 20, 30, 50 years, and we have never combined the things. And then you really see, and you really have the relief that Jesus Christ says the truth will set you free. And you see that all the lies, when you see all the lies of the people, why they are doing that, yet there's no lone nut involved there, which has something to do with it, other than to be the distraction or the scapegoat, then you really see that they are absolutely every government of the entire world is lying to you. Because the world runs on conspiracy, the world runs on lies and murder. He was a murderer from the beginning and a liar. So lies and murder, they go hand in hand.
Yes. And to even make it further, so
yeah,
it's very interesting you bring up the astrology, because really, that's interesting. You got the Jesuit symbol underneath there.
It's a sun worship.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, that's right. And the Pope is all about that, actually.
Yeah, it's really, you see, when you are familiar with all their symbolism, you can really easily decode all their language, all their messages.
There you go.
So
you don't have learning Latin, Michael.
You don't have to learn.
You know the language of the enemy, Michael.
Yeah, but you don't have to learn 20 different languages to look in any diplomatic correspondence or so. Yeah, you see, then you can know them by their fruits.
Yeah, that's right.
And these are fruits of the darkness.
Yes.
To kill a man is a violation of this original sixth commandment.
Mm-hmm.
We have to love our enemies. Even if JFK was the enemy of the Pope or whomsoever, you see that killing him is a violation of the 10 Commandments. The problem actually is that the 10 Commandments, you see that seems not to be valid for the Pope, of course, because the Pope depicts himself as a vicar of Christ. Yeah, so he makes the rules. He makes actually the laws and the commandments. And we will see a time. I don't want to be a prophet. I'm not no prophet. I'm just trying to hand over knowledge here, or my experience on that field. In that field, that we will see a time when the Bible will be forbidden of hate speech. I told that last week in Science is a New Religion series. We will see. Yeah. Yeah, you see that this is the time of the killing of Kennedy.
Well,
yeah,
Michael, we're already there if you consider the King James Bible alone.
Yeah.
You know, it really is considered the lone nut book of the Jesuitical world we live in. It really is. It's been rejected by everyone.
Yeah, you see that JFK most likely was very dead when he arrived at the Parkland Hospital, or despite the claims. You see that the bullet went through his hair with all the arterias. Highly
I should
unlikely.
say it. Can I correct my last statement? The King James Bible has been rejected by all the ecumenical partakers of this world, Michael.
Yeah, and you can go on and on. You see that is the approximate time when he died. That was Central Standard Time, 12:30. Yeah, and he was pronounced dead a half an hour later at 1 o'clock. Yeah, and we can go on and on and on in this explanation. That we can do a horoscope on 1 o'clock, and you will see that, oh my, oh my, oh my. But I don't want to educate anybody on that system. I want just to uncover the untrue words of darkness, Ephesians 5:11. Yeah, and so that I was arguing with myself, Brad, for months if I should do these sessions.
I know. You told me. I remember. That's okay. You know, this is really important to look at. I mean, that's basically it right there. Esoteric Freemasonic symbolism.
Yeah. That script I found here after I did my own studies, and actually this is backing it up, at least on the part on the 22nd of you see, this is common knowledge here now, more so to speak. Yeah, the number 13 Wikipedia explained the number reputation for being unlucky. No, that's the number of revolution. Yeah, but the 13th of October 3007, of course, that is a Templar purge, or the Templar destruction of the Knights Templars. But that has nothing to do. It's now the 22nd. Now, please read this. It is not my conclusion. Yeah, but nevertheless, very interesting. Both Lincoln and Kennedy were killed on a Friday before a holiday. In Lincoln's case, it was the Good Friday before Easter. In John F. Kennedy's case, it was the Friday before Thanksgiving, during the last moments of the sun's travel through Scorpio. It is at this very time of the year, historically, where the traditional death rites of the Sun King were traditionally carried out. This includes figures such as Osiris of ancient Egypt and JFK himself. The wives of both men were at their side at the time of their assassinations, but were unharmed. Both women held their husband's head in their hand as they attempted to deal with what had just transpired. So that means traditional death rites, it means it's a ritual killing. Please put your eyes away from Lee Harvey Oswald in the Texas School Book Depository. This is pure deception for the masses. And they pay for their indoctrination. But I can't help it, you see, that when you look into symbolism and you know about their language, then it's very easy what is behind it. It can only be a religious ritual. It happened in a Freemason temple. Come on. Osiris, the sun god, and also the risen. Yeah, so risen from the death. My. What a word, huh?
Yeah, that's right.
I'm convinced that I would not ever have started Kennedy when I would have known from the start that it would take more than 50 sessions. I can really promise you that. Now, the Texas School Book Depository Museum has a 666 and a phone number. Everything can be faked, yeah. So Lee Harvey Oswald in a Freemason stance here. As everything can be everything, but I think it is very much more likely that it's just a religious ritual. You see that these religious rituals that incorporates the Freemasons. It is Hiram Abiff is a ritual. My. Huh? JFK's remarks concerning his own death. You know, last night would have been a hell of a night to assassinate a president. There was the rain and the night, and we were all getting jostled. Suppose a man had a pistol in a briefcase. JFK then opens up the Dallas Morning News, a Freemason newspaper, to see the headline, "Welcome Mr. Kennedy to Dallas." After reading a passage that asks, "Why have you scrapped the Monroe Doctrine for the spirit of Moscow? Mr. Kennedy, we demand answers to these questions and we want them now." Kennedy then retorts, "We're heading into nut country today." Shortly after Lincoln was shot, the telegraph system went down, likely because of system overload. Shortly after JFK was shot, the telephone system in Washington, D.C. went down, probably for the same reason. In certain heavy load areas, it stayed down for an entire hour. Another interesting thing about the JFK assassination that speaks to complicity on the part of local law enforcement was that for several minutes during the assassination, the Dallas City Police channel #1 was offline. When it came back online 4 minutes later, the Morse code for victory could be heard by anyone tuned into or monitoring channel 1 of that police radio communication system. Victoria is the Roman goddess where the noun victory has been derived from. The Roman goddess of victory. Victoria. But of course, must be merely a coincidence, huh? My. You see, what a world. What a world. Yeah, you see it on and on and on. It has nothing to do with the nothing to do with the coincidence, huh? Death occurred at 1:00 p.m. Yeah, if you really believe it, I don't believe that. Yeah, you see, at 1:00, that is also not the exact time when he died, but maybe that has also another resemblance. Now look at this. From my German session 50 and maybe my English session 10 or 11 or so, the new Pope was eager to meet the American president as well, for he had personally been acquainted with members of the Kennedy family going back to 1939, when, as a member of the Vatican Secretariat of State, he had met them when they attended the coronation of Pope Pius XII in 1939. Meaning that this picture was not a private affair of the Kennedy family, but they showed up because they were invited for the coronation of the Pope Pius XII.
Ah.
Eugenio Pacelli, Hitler's Pope. Yeah, why? Because, of course, the father of John F. Kennedy, which is depicted here, he was 19 years old at that time. The father of him, he was not only ambassador to Great Britain, but Sovereign Knight of Malta.
Right.
So the entire family, yeah, was being, what else was papists? They were papists. And there is another strange thing that showed up. There is an invitation of the Pope to Mrs. Kennedy, together with Mr. James Roosevelt, so the son of FDR, yeah, Francis Delano Roosevelt, Mrs. Kennedy. Aha. Want to know what time they met, Brett? At 12:30 in Vatican at the 22nd October 1933. Yeah. Actually, the invitation is for the 22nd, and it happened on the 23rd of October, so that I have to correct that. That is a mistake on the German session. Yeah, 1933. Yeah, so it's the exact same time when the Pope met Mrs. Kennedy then, 30 years before, when Mr. Kennedy died. Yeah, you see, Mrs. Kennedy, 1933. In 1933, there was no Jacqueline Kennedy. At least she was just 4 or 5 years old or so.
Yeah.
So,
right.
yeah, but this was just the mother of John F. Kennedy. And so much so for numbers and all the stuff. You see, this is the horoscope for 1:00 in the afternoon. Yes. Very interesting enough, yeah, that's another time when the AC-DC axis here is at the same spot between two zodiac signs, yeah, between Aquarius and Pisces, and Virgo and the Lion. or Leo and Virgo, right?
I guess, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess I don't. This is just Latin names, and I don't know in American English now. But you see
Leo. Leo is the lion, right?
Leo and Virgin. Yeah, Virgin. Yeah.
Virgo, is it?
Virgo, yeah, Virgo. Yeah,
Virgo
so this
and Leo.
is the same. Yeah, there are some interesting things there. Yeah. Again, on the 29 degree on Aquarius. Wassermann means Aquarius. Yeah, you see the water signs.
Oh, sure. Yep.
Yeah. And so nowadays they are coming up with the 13th zodiac sign, which is the snake bearer. I'm not making it up.
Wow. Why now, Michael? Why now?
A large constellation straddling the celestial equator. Ophiuchus was one of the 48 constellations listed by the 2nd century astronomer Ptolemy, and it remains one of the 88 modern constellations. An old alternative name for the constellation was Serpentarius.
Serpentarius.
Why? Oh. Okay, so Genesis 3.
Right.
Yeah.
The serpent was more subtle. Yeah.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, and so that covers now, when you believe in that 13th zodiac sign system, which is another BS, of course, that covers now the majority of the Sagittarius. Yeah, so the time before Christmas is now the time of the snake.
Yeah, right.
The serpent. Yeah.
The serpent bearer.
The serpent bearer, yeah.
Yeah, I come to bring you serpents.
Yeah,
that's just great.
There is no evidence of the constellation preceding the classical area in the Babylonian astronomy. The city god's constellation seems to have to be located in the general area of Ophiuchus. That's not what I wanted to do. To the ancient Greeks, the constellation represented the god Apollo strutting with a huge snake that guarded the oracle of Delphi. But it's getting even better. I must look it up if it is in American English the same as. Oh, it is not depicted here. Oh, okay. Then we will do it the other way around. Okay, here. Okay. According to Roman era mythography, yeah, please bear with my bad English, okay? The figure represents the healer Asclepius, who learned the secrets of keeping death at bay after observing one serpent bringing another healing herbs. To prevent the entire human race from becoming immortal under Asclepius' care, Jupiter killed him with a bolt of lightning, but later placed his image in the heavens to honor his good works. Now that is close to the German expression, but not quite correct. So therefore, we will go to the German Ophiuchus Wikipedia entry. You see, Wikipedia has it always right. And therefore, we will go into translating it to
English, yeah.
To English, yeah. No, this is not the thing that I did in English yesterday. Mythology. Mythology?
There you go.
Ah, there it is. There it is here. Okay. Kopieren. Now I have to translate it. But according to the most common tradition, the snake bearer represents Asclepius, the son of Apollo, and his lover Coronis. Huh? That's the mother, now with K. It's 11 letter, huh? With K, the lover of Apollon, and the mother of the healing god Asclepius. That's Asclepius. That's the one for Pharmacia. Asclepius symbol. Yeah. So no wonder that they're coming up with the 13th zodiac sign, huh? Asclepius, the sun bearer, meine Güte. Asclepius, the serpent bearer, or Serpentarius. Where to
Yeah,
start?
you know, Michael, the lies always come first in this life. You know, you don't get the truth until
Yeah,
you
I'm
really
sorry for
dig
that
in
long
there.
session. You see that? Wow, this is so.
Well, that's what
That's
you've
so
done for
intense to
us,
do that in
Michael. We can
English. You see
thank
that?
you.
My head is really burning at the moment.
We can thank you for this, Michael. It's a good lesson.
Yeah, I hope that really people have seen that they're living in a world of deception. If you consume television 20 years and you think that you are a grown adult who knows it all, because you can go to the high school, you do not know anything of real physics, biology, chemistry, history. Just people indoctrinated. Yeah, but thanks for bearing with me. I hope that you really see that there's much more to it than the official explanation, and really they made some terrible mistakes in the JFK suppressed truth. So hilarious fakes like the Zapruder movie, so that is really simple. I see a boat on the river.
Yeah.
My. Yeah, so Brett, I'm looking forward to the next 2 or 3 Kennedy sessions, and then I'm so glad when all is over.
Right.
Don't expect me to go ever again into Kennedy, because maybe with a break of 5 years or so, but I really need to retire. This is so time consuming to go into something just out of love for God and out of the love for the truth, that you really see that if your government is putting tricks on you, and the force behind is a sun religion, yeah, then you really see that the Bible is correct. When the Bible says in Revelation 17:2, it was 17:2. I'm 100% sure because I read that verse 2 days ago. Oh, Brett, please.
Yes.
Help out.
With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. Yeah, Revelation chapter 17, verse 2. Thank you, Michael.
Yeah, that's it. I'm signing off, really. I'm losing my voice. So thank you very much for bearing with me.
Yeah, Michael, that's a huge journey we went on today. And yeah, I'd say it's close to a 3-hour long session. We'll see. Okay. We'll see by the time the editing is done. We had some interruptions, but no big deal. We made it through. And yeah, this is one of the lessons Michael has bared a lot of time and patience to endure to bring us this. And I want to give him a warm thank you from me here, Brett, in Minnesota, United States, although it's cold and miserable here where I live. Certainly, it's not that way every day of the year, but we're going into winter, and you know, it's good to be back with you, Michael. I'm looking forward to the next session already, and we'll get the Kennedy sessions look like they're going to be coming to close soon. So it's good work, Michael. Thank you very much, and we thank God for you and your abilities and your talents you bring to the table for us today. And we'll look forward to seeing everyone next time, God willing. Maranatha.